Hi friends, welcome to my channel. I'm Tirso and I'm an art director based in New York City. Today I want to talk to you guys about process as journey. I would normally do this in the context of design, but in this video it's about the journey of pursuing something, and for me it's building an online presence for myself. For years now my friends have been hearing me say, I'm going to start a blog, or I'm going to get my Instagram together and be an influencer, and it has never happened because there's always been a hump. Earlier this year I finally started on that endeavor, a journey, if you will, and I launched my blog in January, and then I launched this YouTube channel in February. I was really proud that I was able to launch both of those, but then I started suffering a case of imposter syndrome, and then I didn't really know where to go from there. So I needed to figure out what was the next stage of the process. Let's recap a little bit on process. Process promotes ideas, and ideas create opportunities. Granted that I was pretty clueless about everything, I needed help, and I found that help in The Unfair Advantage, which has been the greatest influence on my journey so far. For those of you that don't know what The Unfair Advantage is, it is a book by Ash Ali and Hassan Kuba. It is a must-read and a reread for startups and beginning entrepreneurs. There's a link to the book in the description below, so you should go buy it. Just to note that this video is not sponsored, but it could be. Just kidding, but seriously, I enjoyed the book. There's a lot of excuses and obstacles that we create in our minds on why we can't do something, which in my case, I always thought that I can't be an influencer because I don't have money. The concept behind The Unfair Advantage is that we already have our own set of unfair advantages that we can use to be successful, which brings us to the MILES framework. Money, intelligence, location and luck, education and expertise, and status. My excuse on why I wasn't doing anything before is that I didn't have any money. However, let's look at the rest of the framework. Intelligence. When it comes to design, I did go to design school and I've been working for over a decade, growing and perfecting my craft. Location and luck. I live in New York City. The city's so nice, they named it twice. For anyone that wants to work in media, New York City is always part of the conversation, so there's a reputation associated with it. If you don't want to work in media, you still know New York City because it's famous as a place for movie scenes. Education and expertise. Under the intelligence bucket, I mentioned that I went to design school, but I also work as an art director. With that, I have mastered graphic design in the context of magazine publishing, but I have skills in concepting, I understand business goals, I understand client goals, and I understand user goals. Status. I haven't worked at just any magazines. I've worked across Condé Nast, Hearst, Time Inc., and Meredith, which are the 4 largest magazine publishers in the country. I've been an art director for the last 7 years, but I can actually announce it now that in a few weeks, my status is going to get a major upgrade, and I will be the new VP of Creative at Fairchild Media. With all this said, I understand now that money isn't a hindrance if I can leverage the other 4 pillars of the framework. Aside from the book, I was part of the Unfair Advantage group coaching program in cohort 2, and this was a huge game changer for me, so I highly recommend. First, can I start with how amazing Ash and Hassan are? They are the nicest people, super approachable, and I was just motivated working with them. The group coaching was a huge benefit. There were 6 of us in the group coaching, which is essentially a mastermind group. They say that the road to success is lonely. However, if you have a community to help you build your business, it's so much easier to focus on your end goal. At the beginning of the cohort, I didn't really have any ideas on how to monetize. Part of that is because I'm not a business person. I say this all the time that as creatives, we didn't go into this industry to make money. We literally went to design school to make cool shit. That's it. With this in mind, Hassan asked me, if you were to achieve financial freedom, what would you do? I had a quick think, and my response was, I would do design for free for social impact. I love designing, and I don't really need to get paid to do it. Unless you're a corporation, then yes, you need to pay. What I liked about this goal is that it wasn't focused on money. I found that for anyone that's working for specifically money, the path is much harder because you're not enjoying the journey. Week after week, I worked on action steps to help me figure out a target audience, and this was the next stage of the journey. I started talking to people to let them speak to what their struggles were. After a few conversations, I noticed that they had similar problems, and that led me to my mission statement. My goal is to bridge the gap between self-taught designers and those that went to design school. It would be extremely fulfilling for me if I could make that mark on the world, and I do think that I have the tools and resources necessary to make that happen. So I started catering the content on this channel towards that target audience, and I'm also doing some research on how to reach them more directly. There were other opportunities that I found while going on this journey. I learned that there's not that much print knowledge online, and so my largest endeavor that I'm working on is creating a print design class that will be free, and I will upload it to this channel. I'm also working on some ebooks for kids to introduce design to them at an earlier age, and in the future, I want to be able to teach design online to a group of students. That's a lot to work on, but I don't have to do everything at once. If there's anything that I learned from the Unfair Advantage, it's that the to-do list never ends, and that's okay. I mentioned earlier that process promotes ideas and ideas create opportunities. The more I go on this journey, the more ideas and opportunities will come along the way, and that is so much better than sitting around and just being stressed by a to-do list. I hope that this inspires some of you to pursue something and see what opportunities come about. Comment below if you have any worries or wonders, and I will see you in the next video.